In this video, I'm going to show you how to move your WordPress if you changing your host server. So, matter of fact, you'll be moving everything from your old server to the new server. And typically, I'm using cPanel, and the other host that I have has cPanel as well. So what we're going to do is click on backups and download your backup of home directory. That's your public HTML, and click down here and it will create a backup file of your home directory. That's everything in your public HTML, and save. This will save the file on your computer, and once it's saved, we move on to, it will take a few seconds to save. Take a few minutes to save, so it's still saving the backup into my computer. Looks like it's finished. The other thing you need to do is back up your database, and click on database, and I have two of them, but this is the one that I'm going to do. So save that, and I'm saving it in downloads. Make sure where you're saving on your computer so you know exactly where you're saving, and I'm saving in my documents, in downloads. Save that one, and looks like it's saved. Then what you need to do is log into your new host account, and as you noticed that I'm changing the domain name as well, because sometimes you might have to change your domain name. If you can transfer your domain name, that's fine, or if you had registered your domain name with an independent registrar, then you will be doing is changing the DNS settings. But in this case, I'm changing the domain name as well. So the other thing I needed to show you was where you can change. If you were changing just the DNS, then you can log into my registrar, I have always registered my names independent from my host, so that I can control whenever I want to change my DNS. I don't have to wait for them to transfer my domain names or anything like that. I'm logging into my registrar. Typically, some of the registrars are using this program down here. Only all they would have is a different company name down here, but the program would be the same. go on my domain names, and Grave Packers is the one that I'm changing to my new server. So if I was changing Gov Patel to new server, then I would be doing the DNS setting on this one. But I'm just showing you, for example, I already changed the DNS, but what you need to do is click on the domain name and manage name servers. So you go down here and choose. I have a specific name server for my domains. The other ones are, this one is parked, this one is forward, and this is hosting account with these domains. But you have a independent domain name, so you are independent host account. So you choose the last one, and you put your DNS settings here and save. And once you've done that, it will take somewhere about sometimes few hours to at least a day, 24 hours for it to propagate. I already changed it, so I'm not clicking on here. Now I can get out of this one because the domain name is already propagated, and I'm going to go into my Grave Packers account now, and here I go on home, and same thing again, you click on backup, and in the other account you had backup, but you downloaded it. On this one you'll be uploading it, so you choose the file. If you want to generate a backup, it would be down here, but we restoring it, so we restore the home directory backup. And if I show you what we have right now on my domain name, in File Manager, all I should have in a new account would be just a couple of files. No, sorry. As you can see, I only have one folder with CGI bin, and then a CSS file that's empty. It's always there. cPanel always creates one, and then index file. This would be normally, some of the accounts would have a placeholder, so we'll delete this later, but right now I'm going to restore the download that we downloaded from the other server. So I'll go back onto home, and backups, and home directory. We're going to choose the file that we downloaded it, and I've downloaded it twice, so I'm already got it down here. The other one was in the downloads folder, so it would be in my documents and download, and there it is. So click on it and open and upload. Now this will take at least 10-15 minutes depending on how much you have on your server, the public HTML. So I'll get out of this one, and then once it's done I'll come back to it. The other thing you want to do is restore the MySQL database. So we choose that and let both of them two together. So it's restored my database, but the other one is still low. It will automatically restore your public HTML folder. So as you can see now, it's restored all your files to public HTML folder. So if we go into public HTML now, we should see our WordPress files and folders there. There you are. Everything that I had in my public HTML in the other server is here. The only difference is that placeholder that I created. Now normally your server, when you have a new host account, you would have a placeholder. It could be named anything. It could be default HTML, it can be index HTML, it could be index HTML. So what I'm going to do is delete this file. We don't need it. We got index PHP here that will do the job for us. We don't need two index files. So we're going to delete this one. Once you deleted that one, we got to make some changes. Because I changed the domain name as well, I have to go into my database and change the domain names and change my configuration file. And since we're restoring the database onto a new server, we have to create a user as well. So what we're going to do is go into home again, and click on database, and you should see that database here. It's already there, but there's no users assigned to it. There's no user assigned to the database. The database is there. So we're going to create a user, and give it a password as well. Could be anything you want. You can generate your own password if you want to, but I normally create my own so I can remember it, and create a user. Once the user is created, we can go back and assign that user to the database. It's still not assigned to the database, so we could assign petgov to grivpop beta. So we assign the user to it, and it will ask you what privileges you want to give that. So we can go all privileges, so everything that I need to manage my database, everything, and make changes. So we have created a database and a username now. So what we need to do, go back into our PHPMyAdmin and change the domain names, because we changed the domain names. If you don't change the domain name, you don't need to go into database, but I have changed for example purposes. In the database you will have WP options, so you click on edit, and then site URL, you can see it's govpatel.com because that's the old server and the old domain name. We're going to change that to new domain name. make sure it's right, because this is the setting that's very critical. Recheck Grave if the spelling mistakes are not wrong, and the other one would be on page 2. It's this one, 37. So click on pencil again and change the domain name here. Those are the two changes needs to be made here, and we can get out of this one, and we go into our home again, and then file manager. There's two of them. I normally always use this one. I like legacy file manager than the other one. In configuration file here, you'll find that we have the old username and the passwords. As we have changed the database name and the username, we need to change that again to the new the database name was the same, but the username has changed. So I'm going to change the username here as well. And since this security key is the old server and they are unique for every server, we need to delete these ones and create new ones. So we're going to delete this and create new ones from this URL here. All you're going to do is copy and paste it in a new browser window, and it will give you the new security key for this server. So you will have a unique security key for the server the new server you have. So we copy this and go back to our here, and then paste it back again and save this file. હા તો પણ બંધ કરી દઉં, રેકોર્ડ કરતો છે તું હો ખરીદું મારી પાસે નથી ફોન. Once we have saved the configuration file, we can try and go into gravepakers.com and we should be able to open the file. If I didn't make any mistakes, I should have the file open. There you are. This is the same site that I had at gopatels.com on Gravepackers. If I want to try and go into WP admin, let me see if it's the same file. Gov Patel should be the same website as you can see on Great Papers. Yes, that's Gov Patel. And then if I go back onto Grave Packers, and it's the same website, so everything is transferred successfully. The only thing I need to check is my WP admin if it's working, and your username and the password would be the same because you haven't changed it when you moved your WordPress, so it would be the same as your old username and password. And we are in admin as well. All your plugins would be still be the same place. All your themes, if you check the themes, should be there as well. Yeah, they are all there. I hope this video has helped you on how to move WordPress from one server to the other server, and if you're going to change the domain name, then the changes you need to make so that you will have the new domain name with your WordPress as it was with the old domain name. You can reset your permalinks by going here, and as it is right now, it's default. If you were going to use a custom one, since you changed the domain names, you might have to change the custom links. So we do that. Custom structure and save. That will save that htaccess file. And now if we go on a site, we should have clean URLs for the pages. I don't have anything on there. They're all test pages anyway. They're all nothing on there that is important to me. I hope this video has helped you on how to change your move WordPress from one server to the other server and change domain names. Thank you.